Secrets hidden in plain sight. Powers that move the world in the shadows. Questions no one dares to answer. Step beyond the matrix. Subscribe.
Wow, a huge scandal is developing right now around Kristi Noem. That's the former Secretary of Department of Homeland Security. New reports are claiming her husband, Brian Noem, may have been living a secret double life online, allegedly involving cross-dressing and interacting with fetish models. Some of the reported messages and photos are now spreading online, and it's quickly going viral. A spokesperson says that Noem is devastated, blindsided, and the family is asking for privacy and prayers. But this isn't the first controversy surrounding her. Back in 2024, if you remember, Noem faced backlash after revealing she shot and killed her own dog, saying it was untrainable and dangerous. That story alone went viral around the country and damaged her public image. And there's also been rumors involving her personal life, though none of that has ever been confirmed. And now this situation is adding even more attention. These latest claims, though, have not yet been independently confirmed, but they're exploding all over the internet. This is a very new story, so if we get more information, I'll be sure to keep you guys up.
Bro,
Mr. President, are you not scared of oil spiking?
In
a few days, we'll be announcing the Vanguard Digital Oil Reserve.
Bro, oil prices have been raising every single day they close down the Strait of Hormuz. And now, barrels are about to hit $200. But guess what? The United States is prepared for this. For quite some time now, I've been talking about the Vanguard Digital Oil Reserve. Here is Trump tweeting out about it right over here, Vanguard Digital Oil Reserve, because once April 7 hits, everything is going to change permanently. We all know that Donald Trump says he wants America to be #1 in crypto and everything else. Even AI said that there is a 99% chance that VDOR is going to be announced by April 7th. Even with The Simpsons, y'all know how they be doing with the prediction. This commercial came on while Harmon was sitting home watching TV. It says VDOR, April 7th, $1, oil prices to 200. Donald Trump and Larry Fink is set to make an announcement about the Vanguard Digital Oil Reserve on April 7th to solve the oil crisis. BlackRock is accumulating a big fat bag of VDOR in their portfolio right on the blockchain. VDOR is also trending #3 on Phantom. This thing has been steadily rising, no cap, so who knows how far it's gonna go. I think we're about 25,000 holders right now, y'all. If y'all want to check this out, the contract address will be pinned in the comments below. If you comment juice, I'll DM you the link to the free Telegram group where I give real-time plays and calls. Meme coins are extremely volatile. Just as fast as they can go up, they can come right back down, y'all. But y'all already know what it is. The digital wave is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Earth was originally a playground where eternal life beings were able to literally explore, play, create, in harmony with nature, because we were nature, and there was always an understanding and a deep knowing that we are all interconnected and one, the eternal sacred law of one. So the word Christ often carries religious programming, but the original teachings, the term was Christos with the K, Christos, which refers to the divine eternal blueprint of living God spirit energy from which all beings emerge. It's not one historical figure. By the way, there is no savior. Nobody's coming to save you. Why would somebody need to save you when God is in you, with you, for you, through you, all around you, and there's nothing you can do to be separate from God? Living energy is alive within every human being, regardless of religion or background, because God is the energetic infrastructure that radiates and infuses all things. You are worthy because you exist. And because you exist, you are source, and source by definition is worthy. And like 95% of humanity has been programmed to believe that they have to achieve, they have to look, they have to gain, they have to perform to be worthy. And so we're living in a day and age where it's really important to understand the eternal sacred law of one. Any person or thing or guru or angel or channeler that stands between you and God is stealing your energy. That's not the eternal sacred law of one. No person needs to surrender their personal power to a guru, a priest, a government, or an institution. Human beings are accountable directly to source through their own inner Christos self. The ultimate goal is at one-ment. Not atonement through guilt or killing an animal or punishment or recognition. Well, someone who died on a cross and put a crucifixion implant through the church, glorifying martyrs and making Christians believe that they should be poor, that like suffering should be exalted. What the hell? What kind of God would do that? Yahweh? Who is that? Who made that up and why? Do your own research. Truth will set you free.
Okay, the Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, who is a former central banker, by the way, by his own admission, came out and made this announcement, which I guarantee many, many people are sitting in dense urban centers going, wow, this sounds just great. They consider themselves to be environmentalists, so this sounds right up their alley. But when you actually dissect what's being said here, this is not good, at least for human freedom and prosperity. Listen to this.
This is an ambitious new plan that invests $3.8 billion of new funds
Where are we getting that
across
from?
3 pillars: protecting nature, building Canada well, and valuing nature and mobilizing capital.
Okay, what's the big idea?
Nature is a force for our well-being. When we're protecting nature, we're protecting Canadians, the air we breathe, the water we drink, the rivers we swim in.
Okay.
That's why today we are putting in place enduring mechanisms to achieve that goal of protecting 30% of our lands and waters by 2030.
So if we dissect this for a second, protecting 30% of the land by 2030. For one, that's 33, right? But what does protecting land look like? Making it off limits to human access, which was written about Agenda 2030 decades ago, the plan to restrict public lands to make it inaccessible to humans for under the guise of saving the environment. If we were trying to save the lands, the airs, and the water, would we maybe stop spraying stuff above us every day and stop spraying billions of pounds of pesticides into the ground, into the air, into the friggin' food supply? Like, this is a total thing to pacify you. It's being framed as this beautiful thing that's going to protect the land. It's to restrict human access. And then 15-minute cities. So I hope more people can wake up to this, man, because otherwise coming around the corner is a very unfortunate situation. Now, I can't say that I have all the solutions for these shocking situations that are coming around the corner, but I can say there clearly is a concerted effort to keep us in a lowered state of consciousness today with chemicals in the food, air, and water supply. And if you think it's time to detox and boost your vibrational frequency and decalcify your pineal gland, right now Chalk is giving away free $100 bags of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia, the Chalk Lit Powder, which is super detoxifying and delicious. And if you combine that with the hot water purified Shilajit, you're getting some of the most potent adaptogens in the natural world. Comment the word free below and check your DMs for details.
There's a reason why they want you brainwashed. When the power grid goes down, people don't even know how to act with each other. People are going to act crazy for food, start trying to fight each other, shoot each other. You guys are going to lose your minds. But you don't think that way for no reason. You've been programmed. They never want to show people working together in entertainment. They never want to tell people that we're supposed to be loving each other. This is why they divide us through movies and entertainment and music, because they want us to not work together. This is intentional, people. Every movie, the news channel, everything is taking your mind and making you believe life is one way when it's actually fucking not. Every day we get the decision to make this reality exactly what we want, but we are losing our power because you guys are forgetting who you really are. If the power grid goes down, people are gonna fucking go bananas. And the whole time, all we gotta do is work together. But you gotta turn this shit off because it got your mind.
Did you know that if you've never broken a bone in your body, some people believe it means you're spiritually protected? In the book of Psalms, it says the righteous might face struggles, but not a single bone will be broken because God protects them. In many cultures, that protection is also linked to ancestors. It's the idea that someone who came before you, or a higher power you believe in, is watching over you and keeping you safe. It's not just a Christian belief in Asian traditions. For example, stories like Mulan talk about ancestors guiding and protecting their family. Some people even say you can feel their presence in moments of danger, almost like an invisible shield. And for some, that sense of protection is passed down like an unbroken chain through generations. So if you've gone through life without a single break, maybe it's not just luck, maybe it's a sign that you're never truly alone. Do you believe your ancestors are protecting you?
And I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it. And quickly before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms. We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online and take control over what they are saying based on that ranking.
The government.
The government should
control the social media.
Yeah.
Oh, just imagine what we would do if we had no free speech. We would be fucked.
Let's just break this down into two basic types of extraterrestrials. We've talked about the hybrids. Hybrid extraterrestrials are a specific type that have a lot to do with our genetics being mixed in there with them. And most of them look enough like us that they can be among us and have been among us for a long time.
Already?
Helping create different things in the sciences, in philosophy, in sociology, in politics, whatever. They're helping. When open contact occurs, my understanding is we will be told who they are and we will be able to interact with them in public.
It's me.
No, it's not.
No, none of them would reveal themselves.
Like none of them would be tall Canadians.
None of them will reveal who they are at this moment. There have been instances where people have reported seeing, like, there was something very odd about this person. I couldn't put my finger on it. They felt like they weren't from here, but then I just went about my business. They have the telepathic ability to recognize when you recognize them and to turn you away and make you think about something else.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Exactly. So that's one phase of open contact. The next phase is the pure extraterrestrials who will be introduced to us. Those we may not interact with a lot right away, but over the course of a few decades, they'll be fully integrated into our society and we into theirs. But first, the extraterrestrial hybrids that have already been here, we can interact with them.
Would that mean the end of your relationship?
I don't need to channel if you can talk to an extraterrestrial.
But that might be sad. He's been with you for so long.
No, because I'm going to still teach the principles. And that energy is still there. The connection is still there.
Why am I sad about it and you're not?
I don't know.
She's sad about a lot of things.
But that's very sweet of you.
Can we talk about the other aliens that are not the gray hybrids? What's their deal?
Well, there are beings that people have called out as being Pleiadian, Arcturan, whatever, reptilian, the mantis beings, insectoid beings. I think that as we get introduced to more and more extraterrestrials, we will be introduced to ones that at first are more like us, so we don't freak out. And then
I'm freaked out already.
And then over time, more the ones that are not like us at all, because there are many more extraterrestrials that have no relationship to what we look like.
Okay, I'm going to ask another stupid and cynical question.
Okay.
What happens if this doesn't happen? Meaning, will you get further information about why it didn't happen? And
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. But it will happen. It's inevitable at this point.
Like soon.
2027.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Also,
pretty specific.
Well, 2026 is the year of disclosure, and that's why we're seeing more information in the congressional hearings come out.
I just thought it was the year that I was finally going to get fit.
And then it will culminate in the idea of an actual official public presentation.
Isn't it funny how the end of the world is basically now? The end of the world as we know it. We're all just distracted by materialistic things, or we're distracted by self-improvement, self-development. Either way, we're just distracting ourselves from the inevitable fact that the world is over. Something's shifting. Nobody knows what it is, but we're all feeling this discomfort. There's vile things going on in the world. Humans are treating other humans like they are a science experiment. Other humans are treating humans with abuse and control, physical harm, mental harm. There is an agenda being led by people that really have no care for us people, the people. They're even putting TV programs and series right in front of our faces, and we're just like, whatever. People still don't believe that there's things going on in the world. I believe there's a crisis with homes everywhere in the world right now, because this is a part of their agenda to create problems so then they can come with the solutions, so that we will do as we're told. We buy their food, we buy their media, so we become even more distracted and dilute any self-worth that we may have, so we just buy everything that they want us to consume. Connecting with nature and movement, nourishing the body with healthy ingredients, building relationships with people that want to grow, not just be better, testing the body and the mind in ways that we aren't just laying over and just accepting how we are.
They say Robin Williams ended his life, but the deeper you look, the less that story makes sense. He had just been misdiagnosed with Parkinson's, but later they admitted it was something else entirely, a rare brain disease called Lewy body dementia. But here's where it gets strange. Robin was vocal. He questioned the government. He supported whistleblowers. He was friends with people like Christopher Reeve, and he was working on projects that touched on very dark truths. Some say he was preparing to expose things inside Hollywood, and others say he was already being watched. He started talking about being paranoid, that something was wrong, that he wasn't himself. Then just days before he died, he gave away his watch collection, something many say is a red flag, a sign of someone who knows they're being targeted. Then came the news, hung by a belt with cuts and bruises, alone in a home with security. No one heard a thing, no security footage released, and everything was ruled closed. Too fast, almost like someone wanted it buried. So maybe Robin didn't end his life. Maybe someone ended it for him. Follow if you believe the funniest man on earth knew too much.
Oh, you get a twofer. Good morning. Breaking fuck the news. Also, Iran dropped another Lego diss track. They're dropping these bitches like they're candy, dog. And here's the clip. Roll the clip, Jethro.
امسال بمبا میخوره کف ایفا پر میشه اعلامیه فوتا روی دیوار چهارشنبه سوری تل‌آویو آتیشه به یاد بچه های مینا امسال بمبا میخوره کف ایفا پر میشه اعلامیه فوتا روی دیوار چهارشنبه سوری تل‌آویو آتیشه به یاد بچه های مینا میگم میخوا فتنه کنم بریز خیابون پهلوی های کمی خالی شده جیواشون هرچی میخوای داد بزن جا طرف به منافع آتیش میزنی تو پیتامون دشمن هر کی پشت تو طول سگ دوید پیچیده بوی پول بد جوری ولی کاری میکنیم بریم مثل اربابت ویدیو برسونیم با هوش مصنوعی همه بچه ها جنگی شدن سرا سنگین 1 کیلو اکلیل سرنج توش زندگی پر پستی بلند ولی گنده گوی جلو ما واسما بلند بوش دست ما جا طرف میبینی از 58 و سینمون پلاک شک دیده نمیشه به هیچی کرد یاسین نمیخونیم تو گوش خرولا تفریح امسال چهارشنبه دشمن سوزی تو اسرائیل تحریم امسال چهارشنبه سپا دنبالتونه مثل اسرائیل امسال بمبا میخوره کف ایفا بر میشه اعلامیه فوتا روی دیوار چهارشنبه سوری تل‌آویو آتیشه به یاد بچه های مینا امسال بمبا میخوره کف ایفا بر میشه اعلامیه فوتا روی دیوار چهارشنبه سوری تل‌آویو آتیشه به یاد بچه های مینا
Okay, did you guys hear what South Korea's prime minister just said yesterday on what he thinks the future of South Korea is going to look like because of this energy crisis? And this is also pretty concerning when you consider what the prime minister of Italy just said as well. So South Korea's president, the world is in turmoil over the energy crisis. The situation is so serious that it has even kept me up at night. The immediate problem is grave enough, but the outlook ahead seems even more unstable. The situation is worse than expected. And then this guy comments that the same day Italy's defense minister said he's forced to know things about what could happen in the coming week and the effects it will have on the economy and our daily lives that no longer allow me to sleep. Now, to think that this would be an isolated thing that just affects South Korea or just affects Italy obviously is not the case. This is supposed to be like the biggest energy crisis of any of our lifetimes ever, perhaps the history of the world. And you may be thinking, but why don't they just do Nikola Tesla's technology and the free energy and the water-powered car stuff? Because that's not the plan. They got us totally dependent on oil, and now they're pulling the plug. Because they want a new system, and to bring in the new, you got to get rid of the old. So this is all 100% planned, coordinated, it's not a coincidence, and it's not an accident. Now, I can't say I have all the answers to this, but I do know there clearly is a concerted effort to make sure that we are in a lowered state of consciousness. And we can see this just by the very elephant in the room, which is what we're being sprayed with every day, which they still say is condensation. If you think it might be important to start detoxing and be of sound mind and sound body, right now Chalk is giving away free $100 bags of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia, the chocolate powder, which is super detoxing and delicious. And if you combine that with the hot water purified shilajit, you're getting some of the most potent adaptogens in the natural world. Comment free below and check your DMs for details.
Girl, did you know that the ATF, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, they conducted an investigation and concluded that the bullet that clapped Charlie Kirk's neck did not match Tyler Robinson's gun? Girl, which means that boy didn't do it. So who did? But bitch, check this out. Not to mention the sheriff, that was working the fucking investigation in Utah quit and resigned. Girl, shit is getting interesting. Girl, and I know Candace is probably happy because the closer and closer they get to who killed fucking Charlie Kirk, the closer and closer she knows it was Erica. Girl, they on to your ass, bitch. You better run, baby, run. God damn.
Was anybody aware that NASA was planning to send 4 astronauts to the moon on April 1st? So this Wednesday, in like 2 days, literally there's going to be a ship launching into space that hasn't been done since 1969 when we first landed on the moon. And now they're finally sending these 4 back up there in 2026. Like, I did not hear about this until today, and it seems like no one even knew about this until today. But you know what the thing is this even happening, or is it just all fake? Because we've already known that most likely the moon landing was faked way back in 1969 and it never actually happened. And the moon probably isn't even a huge floating rock in the sky or in space. It's more likely just a projection from the black sun that exists underneath the North Pole and is shooting up onto there. And it's a plasma reflection showing a map of the Earth, which I've shown before, and it shows extra land past the many different ice walls that we have in our realm. So perhaps they're not actually going to the moon, but they're going somewhere else. And maybe they're trying to open up our minds to the possibility that there are other lands, and we will start to get to explore them more now that the old age is now over. It's been 360 years since 1666. That was their whole system. Now we're in a new system in 2026, and April 1st is the actual real New Year's Day. It's not January 1st. That's why they call it April Fool's Day, because everyone's a fool to believe that that isn't the first day of the year. So we're entering into a whole new world on April 1st, and there's going to be a lot of changes upcoming. We already know that Trump is even talking about like the whole financial system's going to change on April 2nd. Doesn't want to do it on April 1st because this is going on. It's going to be a huge distraction, but also he's kind of superstitious because he doesn't want everyone to be fooled by anything. So we'll see what happens. It's only 2 days away, so we don't have to wait. We don't have to speculate too much. I just thought it was really interesting.
The federal government just confirmed that they are about to start diluting your gasoline this May. So basically, the EPA just announced that starting on May the 1st, gas stations across the country can sell E15 fuel nationwide. If you're somebody that doesn't know what E15 fuel is, it's gasoline that's cut with 15% ethanol instead of just the usual 10. And you literally cannot make this up right now because they are calling it fortifying the domestic fuel supply, which is a really weird way to say that you're just going to be adding more corn juice to people's gas.
The EPA has issued emergency waivers for gasoline blends like E15.
Now this is why it actually matters to you, because ethanol has less energy than regular gasoline, so your car gets worse fuel economy on E15. The entire point of this is that you might be saving about 25 cents per gallon at the pump, but you're burning through it faster, so obviously the savings just cancels itself out. But this is the part that genuinely nobody's talking about, because the EPA normally bans E15 during the summer because ethanol evaporates faster in heat and creates more smog. They explicitly know this, but they just decided to waive their own rule that they made anyways because gas prices are high right now and people are angry. And if you're somebody that owns an older car, a lawnmower, a boat, or a chainsaw, they're saying to be careful because E15 can mess up those engines. So they're making your gas cheaper by just making it worse. Is that even surprising at this point?
Y'all want some tea? Okay. Then don't say I ain't never give y'all nothing. Don't say I ain't never give y'all nothing, okay? Word on the curb is Iran, they playing hardball. They ain't just coming up with them Lego movies and them Lego music videos. But girl, they in and out of everybody emails, everybody information. They went inside of the Mossad chief's information. Bitch, and word on the curb is at one point, the Mossad and the Trump administration was fed the fuck up with Benjamin Netanyahu, baby. They was fed the fuck up. And the Trump administration and the Mossad chief got emails going back and forth talking about how they was finna Benjamin Netanyahu and that they was going to move forward with the attacks on Iran, right? Now, this comes shortly after Benjamin Netanyahu and Trump was having a conversation on based upon everything that's going down on the ground in the Middle East or what have you, that Hezbollah and Iran, they messing up everything when it comes to their bases. So Benjamin Netanyahu was like, hey, can I pick up my Israeli bases and instead just build them in America and leave them there in America because they keep fucking up our satellites and shit like that? And Donnie was like, yeah, we got you. We got your back, girl. We got your back. And Iran released some emails that basically said, no, they don't, girl. No, they don't. Now, y'all remember what I had said in the beginning of this. One thing about America, they don't do loose ends. So if shit ain't going their way, they finna start snipping and cutting loose ends, cut out the middleman. And word on the curve is the Trump administration and them emails, I haven't seen them just yet, but baby, the folks is talking about it on the street, and they said, and you know the streets, once the streets get to talking, the streets, they ain't never lie, okay? They said the Trump administration was considering cutting out the middleman, Benjamin Netanyahu, and just going around them and taking the lead on this whole Iran situation. Because the U.S. troops are the only ones that's going to be going up against Iran. And if the Israeli troops is going to be hiding in shelters, they just going to leave them there. If we got to do the heavy lifting, we just going to leave them there, cut out all the middlemen, and get the job done on our own. And word on the curve is that the Mossad, the emails and the Mossad, between the Mossad and the Trump administration, they was high-key agreeing with him. Like, you know what? He holding us back. At this point, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is he really even doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, we waiting on them, and they becoming a liability. That's what they said. Words like liability was getting thrown around. And I said, what? That's crazy. When they gonna get rid of him? I just had to ask some questions because I was being messy as hell. You know what I'm saying? I'm reading everything that's going down over there, and they saying that Hezbollah's close to taking over Kiryat Shimona, and that they've been blowing up different parts of the Haifa refinery. So they now no longer looking like an asset and more so looking like a liability. I was like, damn, that's insane. With Yemen over there hitting the south, Hezbollah hitting the north, Iran hitting central, baby, y'all have quickly gone from being the allied occupied force to being the biggest liability within the region. So much so that President Sisi had to beg Trump to stop this shit because oil is now almost at $200 a barrel. Remember, they projected it was going to reach $217 per barrel by the end of this month. Girl, they talking about cutting ties. They talking about snipping. I was like, oh, y'all is nasty. Y'all is crazy. How you gonna cut your own partner out of this situation, Trump? But again, if you remember, America don't do loose ends. And the minute you start to become, you know, a limb that got bit by the zombie, baby, they gonna cut you off. They gonna cut your ass off so quick, so motherfucking fast, bitch. But I just want to come over here and tell y'all that because they said that Hezbollah over there in Kiryat Shimona, after blowing up several different areas of Kiryat Shimona, raising Hezbollah flags. I was like, what? Now I'm waiting for the information to come, but it hasn't hit the internet just yet. But the people that's on the ground over there in the vicinity, they saying that, yeah, they clearing Kiryat Shimona out, bitch. They clearing that ass out. And that Israel is becoming way more of a liability than America had anticipated.
Today is March 31st, 2026, and it's the 27-year anniversary, which The Matrix came out March 31st, 1999. It's been 9,862 days. Let's look up the gematria for 9,862. Decode America has been one big CIA, Hollywood, and Jewish media mind game. What is please expose and render justice, almighty power, Yahweh. Getting paid to promote the tyrant Donald Trump, who is murdering and persecuting people in America as they call themselves patriots. Yep, typical sellout military type. It starts with their failure to enforce the law and remove from human society everyone who murders, lies, cheats, steals, and covets. Everything in what we think is our U.S. government is choreographed anti-white male patriarch agenda for Judeo-British Rothschilds, global unity. We all died a long time ago. We are extra-dimensional entities, and this current life is an intermittent as well as a narration of the death experience. The truth is string theory, and it means I am you, and I will do my job until Jewish control and subversion of American media, government, and politics is exposed and the corruption is removed. I, Jesus, send my Holy Spirit of love into all things healing, each and all with compassion, truth, and mercy and justice. Lightning, light, word now. White genocide isn't a conspiracy theory. There's evidence, and many Jews have admitted it openly without any duress. Human trafficking erodes personal dignity and destroys the moral fabric of society. It is an affront to humanity that tragically reaches all parts of the world. FBI keeps it going for job security. Those that tell you to vote are either useful idiots or evil, deceitful people in power who want you condoning of their evil. Evil is conquering the world right in front of our eyes. It's time to cast down strongholds. Amen, brother. Military, Freemasons, and Jewish bankers shall perish. Two things define us: our patience when we have nothing, and our attitude when we have everything. Good cannot exist without evil, for good would not have an example of what evil is. Both are necessary for a balanced world. Now, I'm not going to say whether I agree or disagree with all those things. All I'm saying is that's the math. And 27 years since The Matrix first came out is a 9, which is the close of cycles. It's also 3 cubed, so 33. But my question is, since you're awakening and knowing we live in the Matrix, do you feel better about the awakening or worse about the awakening now that you have all this knowledge?
Listen to this. Now, that's a viral claim going around and saying there could be a 9-day global blackout on July 18th, a coordinated system reset. Now, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to break this down logically. Now, what could actually happen and how to prepare yourself financially. First of all, there's no evidence that this is planned, but you can't dismiss it completely because it shows our entire world is dependent on one thing: energy. Everything in the modern world runs on 3 things: energy, compute, and data. Energy is the foundation. If power goes down even a little bit, payments stall, markets freeze, and supply chains slow down and even stop. Energy is becoming the most important asset on Earth, and it's been amplified by the rise of AI. And it's not just energy, it's cheap, reliable, and always on energy. That's why capital is flowing into nuclear stocks like Oklo, who's building nuclear reactions using recycled nuclear fuel for on-demand energy. NuScale, already government approved, building modular nuclear reactors built for scalable grid power. These companies are building the backbone of AI, the future world economy. The winners of the future will be the ones who control the energy platforms, because whoever controls energy controls compute, data, and the future. If you want to see how I'm positioning for this, click the link in the bio, grab the free report on the next $100 trillion opportunities, and follow me to see where all of this is going.